our next grammar point here is 으세요 and 으세요. Now, this 으세요 is used to describe actions that are being done in the present tense. As you could probably tell, this 으세요 is used for statements, and when you ask something, you would use 으세요, as you can see with the question mark right here. Now, this slightly differs from just using 아요 or 어요 in that it shows extra respect for the subject of the sentence. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at an example here. Our first example here is 이 부장님 지금 어디에 사세요? Now, if you recall from the conversation, Mr. Kim asked this to Mr. Lee. Now, what's the question here? 지금 어디에 살아요? If we just use the plain form that we learned a little earlier. But, so we have the subject here is 이 부장님. So, it's his superior. So, Mr. Kim would have to show a little respect. So, in this 살다, we use this 세요 to get us 사세요. So it's asking us where does he live, but by using this 세요 here, it shows a little more respect to Mr. Lee. So let's go ahead and read through the sentence together. Please repeat after me. 이 부장님 지금 어디에 사세요? Great. Now let's go ahead and take a look at another example here. Our next example is 선생님은 언제 서울에 가세요? So let's say we have a student and she's curious as to when her teacher is going to Seoul. So you can see in this part of the statement here we have 언제 서울에 가요? So you have the 가 here. But now what's the subject of the sentence here? Our subject is 선생님. So the student would have to show a little more respect to her teacher. So instead of just using 가요, she actually adds this 세요 to get 가세요, which would show a little more respect to the teacher. Now let's go ahead and read through the sentence together. Please repeat after me. 선생님은 언제 서울에 가세요? Excellent. Now let's go ahead and take a look at another example here. Our next example is 아버지는 지금 신문을 읽으세요. So as you can see from the back half of this sentence here, we have 신문을 읽다, which means to read a newspaper. Now, what's the subject of the sentence here? The subject here is 아버지. So 아버지 is someone, father, so it's someone you'd want to show respect to. So instead of just saying 읽어요, as in what we learned from the past, we could say 읽으세요. So 읽으세요 would be, meaning-wise, it's the same as 읽어요, but it shows a little more respect to the subject. In this case, it would be 아버지. Now let's go ahead and read through the sentence together. Please repeat after me. 아버지는 지금 신문을 읽으세요. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the usage of this grammar pattern. So as you can see, this 으세요 is used together with verbs such as 가다, 읽다, and 살다. Now, as you can see in the first case, 가다, you can see that it does not end in a consonant. In other words, it ends in a vowel. So in the case where the verb does not end in a consonant, we would use this 세요. So in this case, we would get 가 with 세요 to get 하세요. Now in the second example, what about this 읽다? So you can see here, it does end in a consonant. So when it does end in a consonant, we would use this 으세요, and by combining it, we get 읽으세요. Now what about this third word here, 살다? Now you can see that it does end in a consonant, but you'll notice that 세요 is used. Why is that? Well, when we have verbs that end in the 르 sound, as we have with 살다 right here, what happens is, when it meets this 으세요, the 르 sound here actually drops out. So once it drops out, we're just left with 사, and what we combine the 사 with the 세요 here, and we're left with this 사세요. So now let's go ahead and read through these examples. Please repeat after me. 가다, 가세요. 읽다, 읽으세요. 살다, 사세요.